Roscoe should appear in Reacher Season 3, but her return would hurt the Amazon show's perfect ending. While Roscoe should indeed appear in Reacher Season 3, her return would also be detrimental to the ending. Based on Lee Child's Jack Reacher books, the series uses an anthology format to tell the titular character's story, with each new season introducing new characters. Roscoe was Reacher's love interest in Season 1 and has yet to return to the series. There are various ways Reacher could conclude its story, but the perfect ending would be if Reacher ended his days on the road, moved to a small town, and settled down with Roscoe. There hasn't been any confirmation about whether Willa Fitzgerald will be part of the Reacher Season 3 cast, but since Finley made a brief appearance in the show's second season, it's possible that Roscoe will be in Season 3. While Finley's appearance in Season 2 didn't have any effect on how the show could end, the same thing couldn't be said if Roscoe were to show up. Roscoe returning in Season 3 would risk diluting Reacher's perfect ending. Reacher Season 3, which will be based on Lee Child's Persuader, will see the title character go undercover to rescue an informant who has been held by an enemy from his past. Since Season 3 will have a darker premise that will have Reacher do morally ambiguous things, it makes Roscoe's return to the series even more vital because of her ability to rein in his bad side. However, bringing her back in the third season would detract from the show's perfect ending. Her return would naturally be more impactful if it came after a long absence from the character. At the end of Reacher Season 1, Roscoe gave Reacher her number, leaving the possibility of her return to the show in a later season open. But if Roscoe were to be in the third season, then it would create a problem, as the showrunners would have to figure out a way to get rid of her and then bring her back again when Reacher is finally ready to settle down. Ideally, Roscoe shouldn't be in any of the seasons that won't end with her and Reacher deciding to be together for good, because it would create an unnecessary issue. Why Reacher could realistically end on Alan Ritchson's character settling down with Roscoe, while Reacher's avoidance of committing to a long-term relationship and nomadic lifestyle are what make him an interesting character. There has to be a point where it stops. According to Lee Child, Reacher's perfect ending would involve him dying in a blaze of fire or sacrificing himself in order to save someone via the Guardian. However, that would probably not go over well with audiences who have come to love the character, which makes it even more imperative for Roscoe and Reacher to end up together. Reacher Season 2 laid the groundwork for how Reacher's story could end. During a conversation with David O'Donnell, Reacher expressed that he would like to put an end to his wandering days and settle down. Although Reacher was with Carla Dixon in the sophomore season, he is better suited with Roscoe. Reacher ending with the title character and Roscoe rekindling their romance is the most logical conclusion to the series, more so because Reacher and Roscoe had a special connection that he can't replicate with anyone else. The Amazon series Reacher has captivated audiences with its faithful adaptation of Lee Child's popular Jack Reacher novels, offering a gritty, action-packed narrative centered on its larger-than-life protagonist. The show's first season, based on Killing Floor, introduced viewers to not only Jack Reacher, played by Alan Ritchson, but also to several characters who became fan favorites, among them Roscoe Conklin, played by Willa Fitzgerald. As a tough, smart, and morally grounded police officer in the small town of Margrave, Georgia, Roscoe provided an essential emotional counterbalance to Reacher's wandering loner persona. Given her strong presence and palpable chemistry with Reacher in the first season, many fans are clamoring for Roscoe to return in Reacher Season 3. While her reappearance would surely thrill longtime viewers, her return may disrupt the show's trajectory, especially since Reacher managed to craft a nearly perfect ending to Season 1. Here's why Roscoe's return could simultaneously boost fan engagement yet risk undermining the carefully constructed character arc of Jack Reacher and, by extension, the overall narrative flow of the show. Roscoe's impact in Season 1. Roscoe Conklin's role in Season 1 was significant both in terms of plot and Reacher's character development. She played a crucial part in the investigation that drove the season's plot, but more importantly, she became one of the few people Reacher allowed himself to emotionally connect with. Their relationship grew out of mutual respect and admiration, eventually evolving into something deeper, albeit complicated by the grim circumstances of the story. Roscoe was never just a love interest, she stood as an equal to Reacher in many ways. Her no-nonsense attitude, integrity, and sharp intellect earned her a place in Reacher's world at least temporarily. But by the end of Season 1, Reacher made the inevitable decision to move on, true to his nomadic lifestyle, leaving Roscoe behind. This bittersweet farewell was a fitting conclusion to the season, encapsulating Reacher's restless spirit and unwillingness to form long-term attachments. He leaves not because of a lack of feeling, but because that's who he is, someone who doesn't stay. The case for Roscoe's return. There is a strong argument for Roscoe's return in Season 3, which might be based on Tripwire, another novel in the Reacher series. Her reappearance would offer continuity, something fans of long-running franchises often crave. Given the palpable chemistry between Fitzgerald and Richson, many viewers would likely be eager to see their relationship revisited. Roscoe's return could provide Reacher with another emotional layer, potentially revealing that even he isn't immune to the lingering effects of his connections. Moreover, from a storytelling perspective, Roscoe's return could be used to explore a recurring theme in Reacher, the notion of unfinished business. Perhaps the plot could hinge on Reacher returning to help Roscoe in a personal crisis or getting entangled in a new mystery in which she's involved. Their partnership could evolve, creating an arc where Reacher is forced to confront his tendency to distance himself from meaningful relationships. Why her return would undermine the ending despite the clear allure of bringing Roscoe back, doing so might hurt the integrity of Reacher as a series, particularly given the near-perfect closure the first season delivered. The ending of Season 1 was powerful precisely because it left things unresolved between Reacher and Roscoe. Their farewell wasn't just a goodbye between two characters, it was emblematic of Reacher's nature and his world. Reacher is a drifter, and his lifestyle is defined by constant motion. He enters people's lives, solves their problems, and then disappears, leaving them better off but often emotionally bereft. This transience is what makes Jack Reacher who he is. His inability to stay, to put down roots, to commit to any lasting relationship is integral to the character's appeal. Reintroducing Roscoe in Season 3 would risk softening this edge, making Reacher seem less the lone wolf and more the reluctant romantic. Another concern is narrative dilution. The essence of Reacher's appeal lies in his solitude and his relentless pursuit of justice, often at the cost of personal relationships. Bringing Roscoe back could bog down the series with emotional baggage, detracting from the lean, action-driven storytelling that has been one of the show's greatest strengths. Even if the writers resist the temptation to turn their reunion into a romance, there is still the potential for the show to stray from its minimalist, efficient narrative. A middle ground, a cameo or mention a potential compromise would be to give Roscoe a cameo in Season 3 without fully reintegrating her into the plot. Perhaps Reacher encounters her briefly, reinforcing the idea that his past is full of people he's helped and cared for, but who now occupy different parts of his life. This would allow the show to acknowledge Roscoe's importance to Reacher without disrupting the core of the character. Alternatively, her name or situation could come up in passing, with Reacher reflecting on his time in Margrave without needing to rekindle the relationship. This would honor the emotional weight of their connection while keeping Reacher focused on his journey forward, not back.